Hello and a very warm welcome to today's talk on how to network effectively for B School admission. I'm Namita Garg, your host for the evening, and I'm the founder of MBA Decoder. I'm joined here today by Dipesh Puri Goswami, who is going to Kellogg this year. Dipesh, why don't you tell us something about yourself?
Yeah. Hi, Namita. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to have a conversation with you and share my experience with the other members. So, my name is Dipesh. I'm basically from India, but I've been living and working in Germany for the past 3 years. And I have an overall experience of 7 years in the data and analytics domain. And this fall, I'll be heading to Kellogg for its full time 2 year MBA.
Okay, that's perfect, and it's great to have you here, Dipesh. Uh, Dipesh, networking is an often overlooked aspect of the MBA application, and people don't pay attention to it when they're doing their MBA research or when they're applying. But I have seen your journey from close for the MBA admission, and I know how well you network
Yeah.
and how many people you were able to talk to for every B school where you applied. So, why don't we discuss that today and help our listeners understand how important it is to network when you're applying to B schools?
Sure, absolutely. So, for everyone to have a better understanding of the networking, why is it important, and how to approach that, I've created a PowerPoint presentation that we can share. And before that, I just want to mention that when I started my MBA journey, I had no one to mentor me. I had zero exposure to how to network, why do we need to network, and all of those things. So along the way, as I continued my journey, I learned the various methods of networking with the people. Why is it important? I used to attend a lot of events organized by different organizations or by the schools themselves. And as I continued to network and to attend those sessions, I learned that it is really important to network with the current students and or the alumni. So if you are someone who's just starting their MBA journey, then I would highly encourage you to just head to your target school's website and look for the events page. And they have enlisted all the events, like upcoming events over there. So you can just register for the events over there and learn more about the events there and learn more about the schools through those events. With that being said, I'll present my screen. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, it's looking nice and good.
All right, thank you. So, we are just going to speak about how to network effectively in this particular session. So, here I'm just going to give you an introduction about the networking and then mostly going to speak about how to network and why to network and the different types of questions that you should be asking while you're networking with the current students or the alumni. And one of the other, I would say, overlooked part is the post admit networking. So even after getting an admit into Kellogg, I continued networking with the current students and alumni just to understand a little bit more about post admit scenarios. With that, so we have how to connect. So there are different ways that we connect with the people. The most important thing is basically to connect with the current students and understand the culture. So basically all the facts and figures that you have, like the average scores or the class size or whatever the parameters be, you can find those in the class profile or other pages that you have on the website of the school. But other than that, you also need to know the culture of the school, and it is very important to understand your cultural fit, because MBA, I would say that unlike any other master's program, is not just about academics. It is more about academics plus your personal, what you are getting into, like why you are getting into that MBA program, how you will contribute to the business school, and what are the ways that you can utilize that particular business school's resources. So that's why we need to connect. So official student ambassadors. Some schools, I remember Johnson, they have Johnson and even Wharton, they have dedicated student ambassadors. You can just go to their websites and you can connect with the student ambassadors that way.
Yeah, and
The
I'll just
second,
add a point out there that some of these student ambassadors are also, obviously the B school tries to have them from a varied sort of background so that you can find the person who most closely matches your background and get in touch with them. So say that,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
say that, you come from, you want to get into consulting, you could probably talk to somebody who's been in the industry, or
Yeah.
say finance or mobility for that matter. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. In fact, you can even put a filter on like career switches, like let's say someone who was in technology but wants to move into consulting. So for that as well, you can just put filters and just connect with the student ambassadors that way. Also on geography, if you want to connect with someone who comes from the same place as you can do that as well. Same country. So you can do that as well. So there are various filters that you can play around with for connecting with the official student ambassadors. And the second one, which I explored the most, is basically the student club. So I did not know what all groups I would be joining or what all student clubs I would be joining when I joined the business schools. But I knew that like what are the like key interest areas for me. So I just explored the student clubs and I just visited this student clubs webpage, and there I could find the contact information of the leaders there and other members as well. So it was, and the best thing is all the student clubs are very very friendly, be it any school, regardless of the school. All the business schools have very responsive student club members. So if you want to connect with anyone from, let's say, consulting club or someone from Southeast Asia club or European club, it's very easy to connect it that way. So that's another way. And the third
Okay,
one is
I'll just add here. Dipesh, I think going back to your own application journey also, I'll just touch upon that as well. But as applicants, you may wonder why you should get in touch with these people. Now, a lot of these schools have questions about contribution essay, which you will be writing, Wharton Hazard, and if you have to write those kind of, or even Foucault Hazard. So if you're writing those questions, it's important for you to understand what V School is offering and where you can offer something to them, or how you can add to a club, or how you can be part of, how you can contribute in some way or the other to a V School. It's
yeah,
important that you're able to get in touch with club members, and there are several clubs. There could be professional clubs, or there could be social clubs, or there could be affinity clubs, whatever. So it's important for you to be able to talk to students and figure out what kind of activities they already do and how you can add further to that. So I remember, Dipesh, when you were writing your Kellogg essay, you found out something right in the end about how you could contribute in a better manner as compared to what you were
exactly.
originally thinking, and that
Exactly.
helped you to improve the quality of your essay.
Exactly. So that basically helped me design my essays and contributions in a very specific direction, I would say. So that's another reason why we should connect with the student clubs.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
And
And the last one is LinkedIn. So through LinkedIn, you can find people coming from the same background, for, like not only with the current students, you can also connect with the alumni through LinkedIn. And a lot of business school alumni, they are very responsive, regardless whether they are occupied or like not with their current jobs. So they, like all the alumni that I have connected with on LinkedIn have been very responsive, and I've connected with quite a few of those.
okay, that's great
So
to know.
yeah, and the best part is a lot of people, even I, was thinking of going into specific business schools. And when you speak with the alumni, you can get a perspective from different, like the alumni of different business schools, like what it is like to be out of that particular specific school, like 5 years down the line, or even 2 years or 3 years down the line. What is the average time that a person takes to repay the whole loan? So all of these things are the questions that you can get answered when you connect with the alumni.
That's a great insight, Dipesh. Would you also throw some light on how many people would you suggest an app should get in touch with from a particular school?
Sure, I
Is
would
there a
say
magic number or something?
I would say there's no specific magic number, but if you have spoken with like around 5 to 10 people from one specific school, then you're good to go. Because the thing is, you need to know and understand the culture of the school in a better way. And for that, I would say like 5 to 6, or like five, anywhere from 5 to 10 coffee chats for more than five, more than fine.
Okay, that's a good number.
Yeah.
Good.
And moving ahead, why to connect? So basically we have just touched base on like why we need to connect, but just to classify why we need to connect into four categories. Firstly, to understand the academics and culture of the school. For example, when I started off my networking journey, I didn't know anything about the academics. Like, even though everything is available on the school's web page, I could not understand what it was, about the credit system, about the bidding system, and all the other things. Though those were the things that I did not need to worry about back then, but still, it's good to have an understanding of that. For example, there is a concept of core classes, flexible curriculum, and course waivers. All of these things are like very specific to business school. So one school might have flexible curriculum, but the other one might not have. One school might offer some specific major, but the other might not be doing that. One specific school might be offering you, let's say, some core electives that the other school would not be doing that. So that's why it's important to understand the academics as well. On top of that, it's also important to understand the culture of the business schools. Some schools, they focus more on empathy, collaboration. Some schools focus more on this alumni bonding and the family kind of bond. So all of these things you need to understand better. Not only do you have a clearer idea of where you fit culturally, but also this helps you in designing your essays.
Okay,
So
so
that's one
uh,
point here.
yeah, Dipesh, just to ask you a question out here. So,
Yeah,
even for other applicants to understand this better. So, don't our listeners don't expect when you talk to students, don't expect them to tell you which courses are running out there at their B schools, but
yeah,
probably what you can try understanding from them is how good a program is, how good a course is, what is the professor like, and what is the
yeah.
style of teaching. So
Yeah,
go a little deeper. Use what you read on the website as a base to build up information on by talking to students.
exactly. I would second that, Namita. The thing is, when I used to go for this coffee chats and all, I did not go point blank. I used to have some like done some basic homework and research, like the kind of programs that they are offering and all of those things. So if I was interested in one specific course or elective or anything like that, I would just go and dig deeper into that, because all the courses that the school offers, all of those courses are available on the website. But what is not available is the information on what are the courses that people usually go for, what are the courses that usually equip you with, let's say, entrepreneurial skills and all of those things. So go visit the website, explore a little bit, and then if you have any questions, jot them down, and then connect with the people to just get a deeper insight into that.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dipesh.
Okay, moving on. The second one is basically to gauge the fit with this school. This thing, I've been speaking with people and like who are preparing their GMAT, who are planning to apply for a business school this year. And the one thing that I tell them is basically, I would say, don't go after any published ranking in terms of where you fit or where you want to go to. Understand the culture, and you need to gauge where you fit the best. So one college which is probably the best, which is considered the best, might not be the best fit for you. So you have to basically just see where your goals align, right? So that's the second point. The next one is to create relationships that matter, and this is basically just to include in the essays, I would say. And even after that, when you just go into the business school, you can interact and network with this, you can connect with these people, the people that you've connected with. And even after the MBA, like even after the people have graduated, you can just see if they are into one of your targets, like target industries or target companies. That way you can just utilize your bond with them, and network efficiently for like post MBA recruitment. And lastly, for additional factor in admission process. Now, this is something which I'm going to mention. Many business schools, they kind of have tracked this thing, like who has connected with the current students or alumni or the admission team members, because they want to understand like how deeply involved and committed you are to that school. And now in today's time, when there's a lot of competition and business schools want to have and maintain the yield rate, they want to admit only those people who are committed to those schools, right? So for that you need to showcase some interest, and basically networking with the current students and alumni is just an indication of your commitment to understand the school better, and just a representation of that, of the fact that you are interested in this school and would be joining upon given an admission.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
I'll just add here, Dipesh.
Mhm.
I don't know if you also benefited from it, but sometimes when you're talking to current students and they become invested in your success, and there have been times when they would get back to you saying that, you know what, we can recommend you to the school. So that could be an added advantage of reaching out to people and talking to them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'll add that don't ask them very basic questions, because those are likely to be available on the website, and you have to be cognizant that you're using somebody else's time to
Yeah.
ask them something. And the idea is also that you are able to get the best insights out of them. So
Absolutely.
do your research and ask intelligent questions, which only move the conversation forward, and you're able to establish those relationships.
Yeah. I would also want to add one thing that, like one person at Kellogg, when I connected with him, he was generous enough to, uh, accept my essay review, like request, and he also interviewed me, like a mock interview. So I got an idea about what happens in the interview, and he just gave me a feedback as well. So you can basically, get the best out of it. So develop relationships that matter the most. So even
Yeah.
though you are connecting with like 5 to 10 people, like connect with one or two people. That way, like maintain the continuous relationship with them, I would say. If you
Mhm.
want to have different perspectives, you're more than welcome to connect with like 10 people, but keep one or two people in a way that you can any day go back to them and ask some additional questions, or ask them to recommend you to the business school, or ask them for further connection from someone else.
Right, that's a great point. And make genuine relationships. Don't just do
Yes.
it for the sake of MBA application.
Yeah.
There's a concept of paying it forward. So B schools will also expect that next year, when when you're part of the student network, then you help out other students who are in similar position, who are help out applicants.
Yeah. Exactly. So, moving on to the next thing, one thing which is very important is about the kind of questions that you need to ask. As I mentioned, in the academics, you can ask about core curriculum and then electives, then global learning opportunities, and then the experiential learning. So, global learning opportunities and experiential learning was something that I didn't know before connecting with the people. Like Kellogg has some global immersion programs. Almost all business schools have global immersion programs. The name could be different and different schools, but it is more or less the same thing where you just go outside the US and then connect with the people, they solve their problems, and like work for a couple of weeks or sometimes even a month, more than a month or so. So understanding these opportunities basically uh, is beneficial for you to understand your academic alignment. The second one is cultural, which is student clubs. How can you contribute and how can you utilize clubs resources? So these things basically not only give you a perspective about how you are going to culturally fit into that particular school, but also helps you understand things for writing down in your essays. And as Namita said, almost all business schools have this essay like how are you going to contribute and how are you going to utilize the resources of the school. So understanding them in depth is going to be very helpful. I'll tell you one thing. There was this question that I asked, like when I was connecting with one of the persons at Kellogg. I mentioned I was asking about the academic thing, and the person mentioned that strategy is taught very differently at Kellogg. Unlike any other business school, strategy at Kellogg is centered around economics, and then and then they explained what it meant and how it is different from other business schools. So I utilized this particular point during my interview, and during my interview, it came up as a very distinctive point because this is something which you would not find anywhere in the internet. If you have spoken with someone on a personal level, in depth about that particular topic, then only you would know about that. So, like these things also prepare you for interview and give you an edge so that you can be distinctive. Yeah. Third thing that you can ask them about is the career, like the career outcomes, career management, and alumni network. So it's really important to know about the career outcomes because you are going to a business school after all for getting your dream job after the MBA. So one of the main reasons to go for an MBA is to pivot into another function, industry, geography, or whatever it may be. So understanding your career alignment with the business school is also very important. And then lastly, social. So this is on lighter side. Some schools have a lot of like parties and events and nightlives, and then safety and security question concerns as well. So you can have all of those things clarified. And again, these things are not readily available on internet. So these are the things that you can basically connect with the people for. Yeah. And
Okay.
then post admit networking, I connected after getting an admission into Kellogg. I connected with quite a lot of people. And one of the reasons I connected was, as I mentioned, I am from India, but I live in Germany. And somehow someone told me that I could run into problem when applying for a visa from Germany. So I got panicked. I'm not going to lie here. And then I just reached out to my contact at Kellogg. He connected me with some other people. And then, like, those people were also in the similar situation where they were Indians but living in some other country. So they told me how to approach this and that this is not a not an unexpected way to go for a visa. So for visa related things, I connected. For housing related things, I connected. Like to understand where people live, to understand how far the college campus is from different apartment buildings and all of those things. Then resources like grocery shopping and nearest metro station or public transportation facilities. And lastly, the reaffirmation that yes, the decision that you have made of going to this business school is actually the right one for you.
Yeah, that's
So
interesting.
yeah, so that's basically what I did during my post-admit networking.
Okay, that's great. Good to know. And I hope that Dipesh, next year when you're sitting at Kellogg, you're able to help back current year's applicants and help them understand how to go about this entire process.
Absolutely. I'm available on LinkedIn. Just drop me a message and I'll be more than happy to help you out and just be a part of your journey in any small possible way.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of our discussion.
Yeah.
And
That's
we hope to hold many more such short, informative videos which help applicants in their MBA admissions journey. Thank you
it. Yeah.
so much, Dipesh. It was wonderful
Thank you
talking
so
to you.
much, Namita. It was really a wonderful experience working with you, and it was a really nice conversation with you now.
Great. Thanks. Bye bye.